So we continue reading. She says, وَإِنَّ تَزْكِيَةَ النُّفُوسِ لَذَاتُ أَهَمِّيَةٍ بَالِغَةٍ. That verily purification of the souls, tazkiyatun nufus, the purification of the souls, it has a tremendous importance, and a very, very great importance. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He swore by the soul, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and by the soul, and the one who has proportioned it and created it and gave it its shape and its form. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Whoever purifies their soul, then they will be successful. Meaning in this life and in the hereafter. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And verily the one who has corrupted their soul, then they will fail and be amongst the losers. They will fail and be amongst the losers. So as she mentioned, وَإِنَّ تَزْكِيَةَ النُّفُوسِ لَذَاتُ أَهَمِّيَةٍ بَالِغَةٍ. That purification of the souls, it has a great, great importance. Rather somebody the one who loses some wealth in this life or some property in this life, maybe someone would consider him to be a loser, or he failed, or he did not become successful in the corporate world, or he did not become successful in the eyes of society and the likes like this. He didn't have a job and a degree and have a big car and a big home, so they say that he's a failure. That's from the eyes of the people of the dunya, but the real failure is the one who lost his own soul. The one who lost his own soul to whims and desires and to disobedience. The one who lost their own soul. So the one who is successful is the one who purifies their soul. Purifying their soul from sins and transgression. Purifying their soul from defects and from the stain of disobedience. And the soul, it can become tainted. And the heart becomes tainted, and the soul becomes tainted with evil and with corruption, with disobedience, and the likes. But the one who purifies their soul from these foul manners and beliefs, foul actions and statements, then this is the one that is successful. And they purify their soul. The means to purify the soul is with beneficial knowledge and the application of that, to be obedient to Allah Azza wa Jal. To be obedient to Allah Azza wa Jal upon the beneficial knowledge and the righteous actions. This is the means to purify the soul. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. As for the one who failed, then they have corrupted their own soul. They have corrupted their own soul by falling into sin and transgression, and having the corrupt creed and belief, and also having the foul manners and the evil conduct, and also the actions of disobedience with the eyes and the hand. All of this is a means to taint and to corrupt the soul. And the one who corrupts his soul, then verily this is the loser. This is the true loser. So she says, وَبِتَزْكِيَةِ النُّفُوسِ يُقْمَعُ الشَّيْطَانِ وَتُنَارُ الْجِنَانِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ سُبْحَانَهُ. And by purifying the soul, shaitan, he can be curbed and put in check. And he can be stopped by the purification of the soul. And likewise, the high levels of the paradise can be obtained by the permission of Allah, the Lord of the worlds. She says here a tremendous statement. وَلَيْسَ هُنَاكَ خَسَارَةٌ أَعْظَمَ مِنْ أَنْ يَخْسِرَ الْإِنسَانُ نَفْسَهُ الْكَرِيمَةَ. That there is no loss, failure, khasara, greater than an individual losing his own soul. Losing his own soul. And that is very precious to him. The soul is precious. That our bodies inside of every individual that is alive, they have a soul. Allah has created for each soul a nafs and a ruh. And this is from the affair of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And this is something amazing that we all know, that inside of each one of us there is a soul. In this life, the soul is tried and the soul is tested, and the soul will be held accountable. The body in this life, it will die in this life, but the soul will not die. The soul will go to the barzakh, in the grave, and to that level, and to that stage of the hereafter, in the period between this life and the resurrection. And then in that stage, it will either experience pleasure and na'im, or it will experience adhab and punishment, according to how it performed in this life, whether it met Allah Azza wa Jalla while it was pure, or whether the soul met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while it was corrupted and tainted with sins. And while it was corrupted and tainted with sins. So the one who is a loser is the one who lost their own soul. And then in the day of resurrection, the souls will be resurrected and the bodies will be brought back. and the people will be held accountable. And the people will be held accountable. But the true loser is the one who loses his own soul to whims and desires and to misguidance and to lust and to sins and to misconceptions in the religion and about life. So she says this. She mentioned the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. She mentioned the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, the meaning of which is قُل, say, meaning say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to those people, إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ, that verily the true losers, الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, they are the ones who lost their own souls and their families on the day of resurrection. أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. This is the clear loss and failure. These people who have lost their own souls, Allah, He mentioned that this is the true loss. And the greatest loss is that a person will lose his own soul and his family on the day of resurrection. Losing his own soul and his family. Because the one who goes into hellfire, he will be separated from his family and they will not meet again. And they will not meet again. Those who lose their souls to their whims and desires and to misguidance, they will be punished in the fire and they will not meet their families again. Either their families will go to the paradise and they will be separated forever, or even if their families likewise are punished in the fire, then they will not see them again. They will not meet again. خَسِرُوا أَنفُسُهُمْ وَأَهْلِهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. This is the great loss. This is the great loss, that one will lose his soul and his family because it was not able to check and curb itself and to check its own eyes and its hands and its feet and its heart to abide by the commandments of the one who created it, the one who shaped that soul and proportioned it and formed it, the one who tried it and tested it, the one who created it and provided for it its life and everything that it has, that they were not able to be obedient to their Creator. So they lost their soul and also lost their families. So this is the true loss. A believer should wake up. A sister, a brother, likewise, must wake up and realize that there is a soul that is at stake. The soul that is at stake is your soul. The soul that is at stake is the soul of each individual. Each individual, we have a soul, and that soul is being tested and tried in this life. And those who meet Allah Azza wa Jalla with a clean soul, then they are successful and they win. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. And those who meet Allah Azza wa Jalla and their soul is tainted, and their soul is tainted with sins and transgression or disbelief, even worse, وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لَا يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا نَفْسٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ. In one narration, إِلَّا نَفْسٌ مُسْلِمَةٌ. That no soul will enter paradise except for a believing soul. In one narration, except for a Muslim soul. Yani a soul that submits to Allah Azza wa Jal. A soul that submits to Allah Azza wa Jal. So no one would like to lose their own soul and their families. So this is the reality that the people are facing. Take life seriously.